Happy Friday. Good morning, GoErie. We are here live in the Erie Times-News studios. I'm Erie Times-News online reporter Sarah Grabski. We are joined today with ladies from the Erie County chapter of the League of Women Voters. I'm so excited for you to be here today. Let's do introductions first.
Thank you very much. My name is Christal Lepak, so I am one of the members of the League of the Women Voters.
And I am Lucy Krupicz, and I'm the treasurer of the League of Women Voters of Erie County.
So first off, ladies, let's talk about what is the League of Women Voters. I think there's a lot of misconceptions, and something that I didn't know that Lori, one of your lead members, told me is that the organization is all volunteer.
Absolutely. We're all volunteer people that just believe in the cause and what we work for. And I have to say they're pretty active because we've been around in Erie for 100 years. We're as old as the national organization, so I think Erie should be proud of that. And there are times when there've only been a few people holding it together, 6, 7, but we've grown over the years.
So tell us about some of your goals. What is the League of Women Voters?
The League is an organization that was born directly out of the suffragette movement. And once the 19th Amendment was passed, we sort of evolved into an organization whose mission is to empower voters, because at that time women hadn't voted, so they weren't always comfortable with how to vote, what to study, what to know about voting. So we grew out of that organization to become the League, and our mission is really to empower voters and to defend democracy, because without a voting public, democracy will not stand. So that's our mission. And now we have grown into over 700 state and local organizations. For example, last year we touched 10 million voters throughout the land. Up 2018, we connected with over 10 million voters, either through education, voter registration, all kinds of things like that.
That's kind of exactly where I was going next. Or what are some of the things you guys do, some of the events you organize?
Okay, we do so many things, and sometimes it's ad hoc, but we do voter registration drives throughout the year, and that's trying to get people to register so that they can go vote. We do candidates forum. We'll be probably having some, I'm sure we will be having some in the coming year, ahead of the election, so that people can meet the candidates, ask them questions. We do a legislative lunch every year where we invite all the legislators in the county to come, and the public is invited. It's all free. We serve lunch, and people can meet their legislator, can ask them questions, clarify points. It's just a meet and greet type of thing. We also host educational forums on an amazing number of subjects. We've done criminal justice. We've done the gerrymandering. That's been the biggest ones thus far. We've done the things on shale drilling. We've done all kinds of things like that, and it's part of whatever's coming up in terms of a topic. We try to gather materials, have speakers to educate our public. We also have a wonderful we help sponsor a site called 411, Vote 411. So if anybody has a question as to where do I vote, what do I need, who's running, blah, 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 you can go onto the computer, go to Vote 411 and gather up all the information according to where you live. So that's pretty neat. We also, and this will be important this year because we'll be getting new voting machines. We have been instrumental, I think, in helping to educate the public about the machines. When we got the ones we have now, the last time, we did weeks and weeks of instruction at the public library in the lobby. People would come in and we'd show them so that they'd be comfortable with going. A lot of people, believe it or not, feel so intimidated that they won't go vote because they feel like, oh, I won't know what to do. So we do that. And one of the other things, we do so many things, but one of the other things we do is we participate with the naturalization ceremonies. They usually have one a month, and we're always there to not only welcome the new citizens, but to help them feel comfortable about registering if they want to. So we explain things, anything, but usually they know more than we do.
I didn't know that. That's
Because
fabulous.
some countries aren't free to vote. And
Right.
so just for them to go vote, it could be detrimental to their life. So just understanding that the whole process here is completely different, that that's one of their constitutional rights, that they can come and vote and that they have a say in government.
That's exactly kind of what I was going to follow up with is, do you find, especially a lot of people in Erie County, need help or like need the services, are intimidated to vote, or?
I think there's always a segment of the population that does feel sort of intimidated. It's overwhelming. And some people mistakenly think, oh, it won't matter, I'm only one person. But if you think about all the laws that are made in our country, are both local and federal, are they all are going to affect you. So your vote is important. In fact, I was looking up a couple of statistics for the show, and nearly last November 2018 election was very, very high voter turnout, which is wonderful.
Right.
So nearly 100,000 people voted in that election, which turned out to be 52.2% of registered voters.
Wow.
So if you think that high turnout was only 52% of the people that are registered, and you think how many people aren't registered, we had 272,000 people in 2018. That was our population. So half of them registered and only half of those voted. That means there's a lot of people out there that aren't being represented because they didn't vote.
So voter turnout is huge for you guys.
Oh, yes.
You're aiming to constantly increase that number.
Absolutely.
Our aim is to have, and we're totally nonpartisan, so our aim is to have 100% of people be informed and go to the polls. And registration is the first step to get there, because obviously even if you're registered, some people don't show up.
Especially like in upcoming, we're about to have a municipal election. What is your role? You said you're nonpartisan, so that means you won't back candidates, correct?
We don't back them. We don't pick or choose or anything. In fact, we try very hard to stay neutral, even if we personally aren't neutral.
Yeah, right.
That's our job, to sort of sit on our hands.
You have to.
So
restrain.
what do you feel your role is, coming into an election like this?
I think our role is to get out there and not only register people, but talk to people and make them understand sometimes why it's important. A lot of people have a defeatist sort of attitude. It's, my vote won't make a difference, why bother? But I think every vote makes a difference. And at least you have the right to say, I did my job as a citizen, and I just feel that's very important, that your voice be represented. Otherwise, maybe you shouldn't be complaining.
No one can speak for you but you. And we have to remember, the suffragettes out of the progressive movement, they wanted a decent education. They wanted the health care. They wanted everything. So that's what we're looking to educate people in.
Go ahead, Liz.
I was going to say also, if you don't take the advantage of your liberty, then it can be taken away from you.
Right.
And I think you always have to stay active and on top of it and appreciate that we have that right.
As you're seeing, and you're registering and you're talking to voters and you're seeing, like you said, a lot of people have that defeatist attitude. What about young people? Are you seeing a lot of young people across Erie County who are getting more involved, or?
I think a little bit they are. We also, that's another project we do. We have a team that'll go into the high schools and talk to them if the teachers allow us. We go in, we talk to them. If they're going to be 18 by the time of the election, they can register then. So we're becoming a little more active on this high school level. I think one of the things that's missing, frankly, is civics education in our country, and people don't grow up knowing about their government or why they're an important piece of it. So we're trying to be active in that, and I think kids do step up.
And that's so fabulous, because you know what? That's almost connecting your roots from, guiding women voting for the first time. Now you're guiding young people to voting for the first time. That is intimidating. I remember being 18 and thinking, I don't know how to do this. I mean, that's great. That's fabulous. You guys are doing that.
I think the team we have is wonderful at doing that. Really.
Do you guys still do or do some sort of like voting guide or anything like that?
We don't do specifically a voting guide. It's pretty much all online now. So
Yeah.
you can go
Very true.
online either to our websites, you can go to the county website, and I want to mention it's so much easier now. You don't even have to have us help you with the, if you, most kids especially are very computer savvy, you can go online and register online right at the county website.
Wow.
So and you can get an absentee ballot, you can do a lot of things right online.
It's even changed since I started to vote. Okay, so let's talk about like the history of the organization. Like you said, sometimes it's only been 6 or 7 members who've like carried on the torch, but tell us a little bit about how the organization has evolved over the years.
Okay, so yeah, here in Erie, even we've tracked down our original house from on 8th and Sassafras, where they used to have the meetings for the suffragettes. So that was really cool. And what a lot of people don't realize, that suffragettes were originally abolitionists too.
Oh, wow.
So they wanted to abolish slavery before they were even working toward the right to vote. Like I said, they were looking to have affordable health care. They wanted to have marginalized women, care for them, their children,
Yeah.
a clean environment, fair government. So these are the issues even back in the early 1900s that we were fighting for, that we're still fighting for today. So the League is looking at, educating that, the Equal Rights Amendment has not yet been passed. We have one more state to get. We are looking at educating voters on not only the process of voting, but we educate the youth on, the whole, how does a bill become a law? And if you want to change something, then you need to know the rules and you need to know how things work. So we work to educate those voters, register the voters. Fair districts are huge with us. Like we said, we were doing the gerrymandering education, so we have an initiative called Draw the Lines. That's another thing. So, and then with 100 years, we just wanted to make sure that people knew that, we're going to have this 2020 celebration calendar we have coming out in print, and it talks about all these upcoming events. Over the website, they can go to lwverie.org, excuse me, the League of Women Voters, Erie.org, and we're going to be working on a mural with this artist. It's called Her Voice, Her Vote.
Nice.
So a local artist, she's going to be visiting the areas and talking to people, and there's going to be public paintings and participation in the mural happening. We've already had some of the Gannon students, didn't they?
Yeah, we already had one at Gannon, and they'll be
Humanities
popping up all
Department,
over the county where you can actually go and be part of this mural
Oh,
by painting
nice.
a little
Yes,
portion.
yes.
I actually did a little pot.
Yeah, so it's really bringing the communities and the county too together. We're looking at even having our executive director of the Justice Bell Foundation. So the Justice Bell Foundation.
The Justice Bell will be coming. We have a
Yes.
calendar, and it's available on our website, but you can also get physical paper copies at the library and a lot of other venues that we're participating with. We have a year-long calendar of events. For example, later
is so
this
exciting.
at the end of the month in October, we're partnering with Hue Hairdressers and Art Lore, I think it is, and they're going to put on a presentation how hairstyles and cosmetics and things have changed.
And the
since I
fashion
founded
too. So they're going to do like a fashion
Like
show.
over 100 years.
So
Yeah.
point 4,
Yeah.
I think it is too. They're going to give them a shout out to Emily and her crew. They're going to be looking at the different styles too, and the
That's
different looks
awesome.
of those kind of decades of the fashion and things like that, to kind of be immersed in that. That
And
whole
celebrate.
We
That's
have
a
all
big
kinds of
milestone.
things planned. There's
Oh,
every month
movies,
between now and August, there's
lectures.
movies, lectures, participatory painting for the mural. They'll have all kinds of things, so you look at the calendar and it'll tell you what's up. And in January, we're going to have another printing because people are jumping on. We're partnering with hundreds of people throughout the community. It's just amazing.
We're looking
And
at,
at the end, next August, we're going to
Yes.
have a blowout celebration that's
Huge
open and free to the
celebration.
public.
Free.
You'll have people dressed in costumes from 100 years
Periodical,
ago. You'll have
yeah.
the Liberty Bell. You'll have the Justice Bell, excuse me. We'll have all kinds of activities, so you really should stay tuned. And a lot of them are just free. So
Yeah.
Amanda
that's amazing.
Owens is the executive director of the Justice Bell League, and she will be here from Philadelphia. So she'll be our keynote actually on that celebration that she was talking about, and that's going to be at the Hagen History Center, August 17th of 2020.
Okay,
so that's
it's on my calendar.
Yep,
We're
it's
going.
on the calendar. So we have just a whole bunch of different activities, and then we're talking about, like, we just had a lecture at the Jefferson about the women soldiers of the Civil War. We just heard a lecture about the progressive movement of suffragettes and how things have kind of evolved to now. We're looking at our possible, we're calling it the third wave, the women's wave movement. You know, we had our first wave was when we got the right to vote, and then we had our second wave in the 70s with all those great women marching and protesting, and then now it seems like we've got the 2020 is going to be the next wave of women coming through.
That's awesome.
I just want to clarify, we're called the League of Women Voters,
but we do have men
a lot
too.
of
Yes,
men.
I'm sorry.
In our group,
Should clarify that.
I think there's a fourth of our membership are men.
Yes, that's awesome.
We
That's
love
the
our
other
men
thing
too. Yes,
I was going to say is that I'm sure that's a common misconception, right?
It is.
It used to be just women, but it changed years ago, and we didn't get the publicity out quite as heavily as we should have, but it's coming around.
Another thing that kind of brought another issue up to my mind. So, and I know that, like, the original suffragettes, like you said, supported abolition. Do you guys support different causes, or will you back different causes if you're...
Absolutely.
Okay.
People get very mixed up about us because we're not partisan at all.
Yeah.
But we do take stands on certain issues, and usually they're after extreme studies, years-long studies. So the League nationally does have positions on political items, but they're things that they have studied. In fact, the studies go out to the states send them to local, and we spend a lot of time reading volumes of information, just meeting and discussing it, and then eventually we come to a conclusion on a local level that goes on to the state, who compiles it and sends it on to national, and national will then take positions.
Another thing that also kind of just popped up in my mind, 2020 is going to be a huge year for you. Because do you feel as though, and Erie County is already getting national attention. We've been in the New York Times, we've been in the Wall Street Journal already for the presidential election. Are you going to be vamping up, like, your presence and, like, your education up to that, or?
We don't really have to vamp up, we do it already, but we can't take positions. We'll be doing probably a candidates forum, inviting the candidates once they're picked after the primaries to say, okay, meet the public, here's questions, whatever. We will do that. We also, one of the things that we will have new voting machines by then.
Yes.
And one of the things we do is help instruct the public on the voting machine. So those forums will be available too, where the public can come in with no appointment, no nothing, and we'll instruct them on how to use the new ones. We have to learn them first.
Right, exactly. Now, and I don't know if this is an off-the-wall question, but how would somebody, if somebody wants to join the League, how can they join the Erie County?
You can go to our website, contact any of us. There's a form online, though I have to be prejudiced and say, if you're going to join online, contact us, the local league. If you contact the national, they get every penny.
Yeah, right.
So we'll try to keep it local, right? And we have a special happening too. Ages 16 to 26. We have free membership right now available. So ages 16 to 26, you can see us. We can get you a free membership. If you are ages 27 to 35, we have a $35 membership.
For young
yes, and then young professionals. So then in 36 and up, we'll have just normal pricing. However, but we do offer many things. Like she says, part of our thing is educating voters in the meet and greet. So next week we're also going to be having a meet and greet next Wednesday at the Site Center at 1:30 for the judicial
candidates.
Oh yes.
So they can't really take positions, but you can get to know them and meet them and talk to them. And grassroots is really where we're finding out that a lot of people, you have to go to the voters and you have to go to the people. That's
amazing too. You guys are kind of this liaison between the voters and the candidates. I mean, that's
with the dot connectors,
right? Quite an important role for
I think
you.
It is, and one of the things that is personal to me, I guess, is I think sometimes younger people, or especially women, young women, don't appreciate how hard our mothers had
Yeah.
to work
Thank
to
you.
get us to where we are.
Yes.
Once upon a time, we couldn't own property. If you were married, your husband controlled everything. You couldn't even keep your kids
No.
if
even
you
keep
were
your own
divorced or
children.
whatever. So I think sometimes much less control your money or have a political opinion of any kind. So I think our foremothers worked very, very hard to get us here. They went to prison, they suffered hunger strikes, they did all kinds of things to get us that right. And I would like us to not only appreciate it,
Yeah.
but make sure we keep it.
Yeah, exactly. And how often do you guys meet, or how often do you?
We meet once a month officially, but we're always in communication
I'm
through
sure.
email, telephone,
Continually,
whatever.
every
so
day.
it's a lot of people doing a lot of things and working very hard.
Yeah.
It's kind of, it can become
Right.
a full-time job
Well,
if
because
you
you
let
know, and this is all volunteer too. You
Yeah.
were just saying your
Yeah.
why, Crystal. Do you want to share kind of why you continue to volunteer your time and?
Yes, I mean, as a woman and a history teacher and a mother and a daughter and a sister, it's important for us to realize, like she said, the women that have come here before us and that have sacrificed their time, their family, how many hours we've even sacrificed from our family, because we believe so passionately in what we believe in, and that everybody has a voice, everybody has the right to speak, whether you're a man, a woman, straight or gay or whatever, it doesn't matter. Everybody has a voice and it needs to be heard. And if you do not, exercise that right, you're not doing yourself any justice at all.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something we're very passionate about.
Yeah. Anything you want to add?
Yeah. I'm a naturalized citizen, and
Oh.
I became a citizen when I was 21, and it's very, very special to me. I guess I always call myself a born-again American, and it's not, and I can have staunch opinions on one way or another, but the reality is all of us, no matter what our beliefs are, we have to appreciate that we have one of the best systems ever created, and it's still going after 200 years. So I guess
Amazing,
I'm passionate about the system and how wonderful it is, and I think you have to be engaged to maintain it. You have to have some ownership of your government.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Anything else you want to add about the league in general? Any more information?
Just stay tuned. Look at the calendar.
Yeah.
Go to our website.
Go to our
Call
Facebook.
us. Anything you need or
Join.
join
Join.
us. Anything
Join.
you want.
Free.
We appreciate having more fighters.
We would love to have more young people too. We see that Erie's getting great with the younger generation coming up, as far as they're getting more involved in government, they're getting more involved in their community and different issues. So I'd like to see them come on out and be part of our nonpartisan group.
I love it. All right. Thank you so much for joining us
Thank you
today,
for
ladies.
having us.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you.
you. And thank you for joining us at home. Stay tuned for further Facebook Live discussions. Happy Friday.